The May 2020 Classic Tetris Monthly Masters event was memorable in so many ways, with world champion Joseph Saeelee's return, max-outs galore, and a couple new records. There'll be tons of analysis of the most noteworthy games coming up, but it's worth noting just how significant the overall month was for the community as a whole. The tournament got an unexpected publicity boost when Vlogbrothers co-founder John Green made a video talking about alternative sports he's been enjoying during the quarantine.
Another game that I play terribly and love to watch people play well, Tetris. Every month there is a Classic Tetris tournament where the world's best players of a 36-year-old video game battle it out, and it is pure joy.
And in it he expressed a sentiment I was trying to put into words at the beginning of my previous video, except he did it far more eloquently.
That William Carlos Williams poem goes on to say that the crowd at the ballgame is enthralled by all the exciting detail of the chase and the escape, the error, the flash of genius, all to no end save beauty. And for me at least, that's the key. Whether it's sports or something else, we all need things in our lives that have no end save beauty. For me, I'm finding that mere beauty right now, among other places, in competitive Tetris and marble racing. I wonder where you're finding it, whether sport adjacent or not.
And on the other side of YouTube, renowned guitarist slash multi-instrumentalist Rob Scallon invited 7-time world champion Jonas Neubauer onto his channel to teach him how to play the drums. And in turn, Jonas taught him how to play Tetris, which culminated in Rob scoring his first line on level 19. And with increased publicity and everybody being stuck at home likely being contributing factors, the number of people who qualified for the May CTM was a staggering 167, beating all previous months by a significant margin. Now traditionally, the top 16 players are the ones who qualify for the main event. But a while ago, tournament organizer Keith, aka Van Dweller, signed into effect the No Max Out Left Behind Act in order to honor the legacy achievement of maxing out the score counter on an unmodified version of the game. Effective through June 2020, this guaranteed that no young Tetris player who achieved 1,000,000 points in their qualifying hour would be left out of the main event. Keith said he never expected the act to go into effect so soon, but this month, an unprecedented 17 players got max outs. So as a result, for the first time, you had to get a max out to get in, and several veteran players such as Quaid and shockingly Corion, the 11-time winner, didn't make it in. They didn't even have bad qualifying hours, they both got mid 900k scores, which would have gotten them in pretty much every other month, just not this month. So out of necessity, for the first time in over a year, there was a round 0 playoff between the bottom 2 seeds for who would get the final spot in the bracket of 16. And even with only one matchup, this round has a game worth highlighting. In the very first game, the former monthly champion Richard, aka Berenyi KFT, has built a healthy almost 2 Tetris lead against Philip, aka Laser Zero Monkey. Even better for Richard, he's 6 lines behind Philip, giving him more time to score before the kill screen. But he currently has a bit of a situation in the middle of his board that'll have to be cleared out first. The value of the Tetris leads and deficits, by the way, is calculated with the value of the next Tetris for the player with the deficit. Both players are off, stacking clean, and Richard suddenly gets a J piece he's not sure what to do with and hangs a couple more pieces, and suddenly he's bordering on topping out. He's pulling off burns but keeps having to pile on top of the long bar dependency in the middle of his stack, and meanwhile Philip has taken the lead. He's approaching the kill screen though, so if Richard can survive he should be able to win. Philip gets an S-spin, Richard is incredibly set up for the dirty Tetris and gets it, but then hangs an L on the left, and Philip scores a Tetris to take a 43-point lead, and Richard hangs another long bar to the left, unable to get another line, and that's gonna do it for him. Philip squeaks across 2 more singles as he enters the kill screen and pulls off the comeback, just barely winning by less than 1/10 of a Tetris. And it wasn't for naught, he ended up taking the hard-fought match in 3 games. Fun fact, Laser Zero Monkey is also a speed cuber and was primarily known on YouTube for his cubing videos before he jumped into Tetris. He had the unfortunate luck of running into Joseph Saelee in the first round of the bracket stage, who dropped a casual max out and level 31 in his first game back. But Philip has gotten exponentially better recently. He just upped his personal best last week, narrowly missing out on a 1.2 million. So I can't wait to see what he does in the future tournaments. And overall, there were a ton of memorable moments from the bracket stage. Joseph and Sodium Overdose joined up on a voice chat to coordinate some synchronized moves throughout their matches. And after topping out, Sodium Overdose conceded with a GIF and they bowed to each other to close things out. And Zafanya Nanu and Cheesefish, both world-class players, set a tournament record for lowest lowest combined score when Nanu topped out at 27,000 points, a little over one Tetris, and Cheese couldn't chase down the score. This kind of game is kind of just a hilarious example of how an early top out can happen to anyone, because neither of them really had any fatal misdrops, they just got absolutely atrocious RNG. But there's one matchup that was without question the highlight, not just for one game, but for all three. Game 1. Both players are on max out pace. Eric has a healthy 2.5 Tetris lead over Dog. Dog has 6 more lines to work with, but he'll have to play perfectly and hope that Eric has to burn lines if he's going to win. Both players are stacking perfectly, not a single hole on either side, and Eric takes a burn and Dog lands a Tetris to pull within 1.5. Both are still Tetris ready and Dog gets another Tetris and Eric takes another burn, and now things are close. And Eric lands a Tetris, but Dog gets it right back. But now Eric gets a Tetris and Dog gets another Tetris to stay on pace. Still not a single hole on either side. Super clean play. But now Dog has 3 Tetrises available before Killscreen and Eric only has 2. Dog gets a Tetris to take the lead. Eric gets set up and gets a Tetris to take it right back though. Both players are stacking perfectly, but getting droughted, getting really high. Neither of them want to take a single burn, but eventually they're going to be forced to. Eric takes a burn to transition and gets a Tetris on the kill screen. Dog gets a Tetris back, needs one more to take the match. Where's the long bar? There's no long bar! That's going to be it. Both players getting max outs with a phenomenal finish, but the difference maker? Eric's death-defying level 29 Tetris. To put it into perspective, this move is literally impossible with just Das. I plugged the parameters into Zeal's bot on the Discord server, and it requires, at minimum, a tapping speed of 15 times per second with perfect timing. In reality, it was probably closer to the rate of 20 times per second. So how can Dog come back from this? Well, in game 2, on level 28, he's already gotten another max out, has an absolutely filthy 5.5 Tetris lead, and Eric's board is a mess. There's really no way he can win at this point. Dog's hungry for more though, and Eric is going to try and set up a dirty Tetris, playing for pride. Gets the center well Tetris to knock the lead to 4.5. And meanwhile, Dog has gotten another Tetris and entered the kill screen. But what is he doing? He's shoving long bars in the center. He's building up for his own kill screen Tetris. Dog finishes with a statement 1.1 million score and an unholy more than 6.5 Tetris lead. And this wasn't a bad game from Eric at all. Almost 900k is a great tournament score, but Dog just absolutely crushed it. So what can these guys possibly do in an encore for the decider? Deep in the game, wouldn't you know, they're both again on max out pace with barely a Tetris separating them. Eric has the lead in lines pace, but will have to take some burns with his stack. Dog almost misdrops the score, then gets a Tetris, and Eric is clean now and building up. And Dog gets a Tetris for the max out and the lead, but Eric's Tetris for the max out takes it right back, and Dog has 1 line left until the kill screen. He sets up a tough tuck situation. Eric gets another Tetris for some wiggle room. Dog sacrifices the board to get his final Tetris and can only get a single on the kill screen, topping out 3,000 points behind. And Eric's still going 1 line until the kill screen, has a double wide well, but fills it with a long bar and gets a final Tetris to have his own 1.1 million score. In a historic 3-game set, Dog maxes out all 3 games and still somehow loses to Eric, who puts together the tournament game of his life in game 3. And so the semifinals were set. Joseph versus Alan and Nanu versus Eric. Joseph versus Alan had its moments, with Joseph hopping on call again with Alan this time to coordinate not just synchronized moves, but typing in the stream chat during their game. But for top moment of the semis, well, there was a pretty crazy finish to game 3 of Nanu versus Eric. Eric has built a massive 5 Tetris lead over Nanu, but is also 17 lines ahead, so Nanu has a lot of runway to catch up. Still, having a big lead like that means something, because your opponent still has to deliver the Tetrises for the comeback, even if they have the time. Nanu gets stuck in a little bit of a delayed burn situation, and Eric sets up a tuck for a square, or maybe an L plus S spin, but neither of the right pieces come for Eric, and misdrops with the J and cuts off the right half of his board. Suddenly, Nanu's in a position to chip away at the lead. Eric's on the verge of topping out. There's not much he can do anywhere except just try to survive. Nanu is doing what he needs to do, has a really nice clean board, and Eric gets a clutch triple to stay alive. And meanwhile, Nanu has a perfect stack, gets the Tetris to pull within a little over 2 Tetrises. Eric's still trying to dig out, but now he's on level 28, almost at Killscreen, and his lead is evaporating. Still a super messy board, potential Tetrises going out the window. Finally gets an opening on the right and gets a line piece to tuck it in. He's got 2 lines left to burn before Killscreen, gambles on an L to the left and gets the line piece for a crucial Tetris, and that's it for Eric. Now Nanu needs 2 Tetrises and has 11 lines to work with, can play a little safe but doesn't have much wiggle room. Building clean, but his parity is suffering, has to take another couple burns, but now he's starting to run out of time. Sets up another tuck and takes a safety double, but he gets the wrong piece to clear the burn, and now he's not Tetris ready. Suddenly he's out of options, and there's pretty much nothing he can do to get this board clean in time, and a misdrop with the T-piece, and that's the game. Nanu almost stages the comeback, but Eric's critical survival after his misdrop and eventually pushing across the final Tetris kept the pressure on Nanu and forced him to play more risky in the end. Incredible job by both players. This game put Eric up 2-1, and he went on to win the best of 5 to move on to the finals with Joseph Saelee. In another best of 5, Joseph handily won the first 2 games, and in game 3, commentator Harry Hong mentioned that he'd like to see the players pressing down, something he has a personal preference for. And Joseph said, "I gotcha, man," and started pressing down, but then ran into some trouble and fell behind pace of Eric. By level 28, Joseph is down 2.5 Tetrises with only 5 lines to go until the kill screen. Eric is chilling all the way back at the beginning of level 27 and still has tons of time left, but he does have a little bit of a messy board. Joseph's only hope to complete the sweep is to pull something together on the kill screen and hope Eric gets stuck burning and tops out quick. Eric continues to burn, still not getting the pieces to get this clean, but Joseph is getting droughted. He has to take a double to stay alive, but that's going to cost him a Tetris opportunity. Joseph gets his final Tetris and enters the kill screen, burns a triple, which will help, but he's over 70,000 points behind, and Eric still has time to score Tetrises. Eric gets another center well Tetris. Joseph will have to do something unprecedented, and Eric misdrops. He has to burn away a few lines to clear up his stack, but now he's right at the end of level 28. That'll cost him a Tetris opportunity, and Joseph is somehow still continuing to survive. He's at level 31 and 100,000 points back, and Eric gets his final Tetris double kill screen action. And what is Eric doing? He's not dying, he's setting up, and he gets a kill screen Tetris to take a 4 Tetris lead. 160,000 points, and Joseph enters level 32. The pieces are falling to the bottom of the screen every third of a second. The game developers never intended for these levels to be playable, and Joseph is somehow surviving and down stacking. The all-time record for lines past kill screen in competition is Jake with 45, and Joseph has 1 more line to go. He's tied it, and at this point he's just waiting for the right piece, and there it is. He's there. Joseph has broken the competition record. How much longer can he possibly last? The all-time world record for most lines past kill screen is 54 by Joseph himself, and he just tied it and broke it. Joseph is closing in on the first ever level 35 and misdrops. This could be it. Joseph needs another line to survive, staving off pieces and misses the line again, still playing and misses a line to the right for the 3rd time, and that's going to be it. Joseph, even with the push down points, even with a historic kill screen run, still somehow loses to Eric, who came up with a max out in probably the highest pressure match he's ever played in his career. Even with Eric's heroic effort though, Joseph eventually prevailed, taking game 4 en route to his 4th Classic Tetris Monthly title. And here to talk about what it was like to compete in probably the most competitive month ever is Joseph himself. Joseph, thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
So, against an entire field of max out qualifiers, was there any particular round that was the most difficult or satisfying to achieve a victory with?
I guess playing against Eric, all those matches with Eric were really fun to play, and I really had a great time.
Did you have a favorite game out of that set?
I mean, even though I lost in game 3, I think that was the most fun to me.
When you were attempting to chase down Eric's score past the kill screen, were you planning to build up for a Tetris at any point, or were you just going to try and line it out all the way?
I already knew I was in the losing position. I think his final score was like a 90 or something like that, so I already knew I was going to lose, so there's no point in going for Tetrises, at least for me. I'm not that consistent at putting Tetrises on the kill screen, so my mindset was just line it out. People are still gonna enjoy this. Why not?
So the no max out left behind policy is in effect for only one more month. With cutoff scores poised to rise well past 1 million, do you anticipate any significant change in strategy for qualifying among yourself or other event regulars?
Yeah, that's gonna be a tough one. As far as for me, I think I'm just gonna keep doing what I've been doing. It's been getting me into main events, so I'm not too concerned. But yeah, as far as for everyone else, I know they're gonna keep improving. They're gonna know that, oh, you need to max out at least to get into a main event.
So when you're qualifying, do you shoot for a max out first and then try and go higher after that? Or are you kind of like full throttle all the way?
Yeah, I'm kind of looking for like a 1.1. I think 1.1 is pretty safe, at least for now. It might not be soon, but that's my mindset right now, 1.1.
Nice. Well, congratulations again on your win, and thanks for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
And things wouldn't be complete without also talking to the first-time CTM finalist, Eric, who's also joining me today. Eric, thanks so much for coming on.
Oh, it's nothing.
So this is by far the farthest you've made it in the main event. Did anything feel different this month? Were you more comfortable with the nerves or perhaps consistency?
I think this month was just like any other month for me. It's just like in the earlier months, well, I don't want to say I choked every month, but either way, I don't think there was really anything different this month. I think I just played better.
Yeah, you had some phenomenal games. Was there any particular one that was the most satisfying to win with?
Oh, satisfying game was definitely game 3, me versus Dog playing Tetris. I mean, the guy maxed 3 times and I beat him. I was just like, I really wanted to beat him, and that was like the decider game. And I don't remember exactly what I did, but I just like had a pretty good reaction to, winning that match.
So you had multiple Tetrises on level 29 this month. Do you prefer to build a final Tetris on level 29 rather than burning it down and attempting to line it out?
Well, whenever I'm going for score, usually I just attempt to build the 29 Tetris. Like, the 2 times I did it, I think were game 1 versus me and Dog. When I did it in game 1 versus me and Dog, that was just because I had to burn those 2 lines. But if I didn't get it, I think I would have lost that match. And game 3 versus Joseph, in the end, I thought he was like really, really close to my tail end. So I just like, okay, I have to score some points. And then I just build up for the Tetris, get the long bar, get the Tetris. Then I top out and look over and he's at like 950,000 or something. So I didn't really need to, but I just thought I had to do it.
So like, what was it like participating in the finals for the first time? Did it feel different mentally from the earlier rounds?
I'd say my mindset was kind of, in the earlier rounds, I was just trying to win. In the finals, like, I knew I was facing up against Joseph. There's almost no way I could win against him, except if I played like really, really well. I think I'm happy with my play though. I suppose my mindset in the finals was just, okay, I need to put up as much of a show as possible, and if possible, win.
Awesome. Well, it was really great getting to watch you this month, and I hope to see you next month as well.
Oh, I'll be there.
So if you would like to see more of Eric, he has a Twitch page with like 180 followers or so, and he's got a YouTube channel with 100 subscribers. He definitely deserves more. So I'll have links in the description. You can follow or subscribe. He has a Summoning Salt parody coming up on his YouTube channel, which I'm looking forward to. And there will be links to Joseph's pages as well, along with links to everybody who participated in this month's tournament. And the best thing about this month's tournament is, as great as it was, there's another one coming up in another couple weeks. So I'll see you guys then. Thanks for watching.